So today is November 11th, the February day. Um, Good for couples, but for me, it's just like a day. Okay. So prayer was supposed to be Rachel, but I think she's not gonna be here, so I'll just pray today. Okay. So let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for allowing us to be here, and please help those who are not here, and allow Seven to concentrate and focus well today in this class. And please help us today. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Okay, awesome. Okay, so homework. You had homework to do. I think you did. I don't think you did it. Yeah.
Like, I actually forgot to do it. I was like pretty
It's okay.
busy, like
It's
last
completely
week.
good. Mm-hmm. No problem. I mean, you always do your homework, so just um, it's like a short reflection. So I think you can do it in like 5 minutes, I think. So you can just turn it in next week, okay? With the other one, okay? Awesome. So today, what we're going to talk about is social issues. This is also a big topic, right? Because there are a lot of issues in this world, and I listed some of them. And the fourth, all four of them is the first one is economic issues. The second one is gender issues. The third one is racial issues. The fourth one is educational issues. So those are the four main things I thought would be kind of important. And um, if we talk about educational issues, then what do you think might be the problem? Anything that you think? What do you think? If it's educational in Korea, let's say, what would be the issue?
So the social issues in Korea right now.
Educational issues in Korea.
Uh, um, in Korea, war. So I think it's going pretty well. So I don't really know. Like I don't even watch news. So
I mean, that's true. Maybe less Hagwon issues in Korea.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
like they study too much. Or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like the
Right.
Korean students and kids are like
Mm-hmm.
always like studying so hard,
Mm-hmm.
and even though the schools are finished, like they have to go to hagwon, and after they're done with that, they have to go home like at night. So
Mm-hmm.
that might be like
Right. That would be the issue. How about like what's your thoughts about swimming? Like,
pardon?
what's your personal opinion for swimming?
For what? What?
Swimming. Uh-huh.
Oh, like so like uh, students in Korea turns to high school, they have to like study to 수능 for like 3 years, really hard, 빡세게. So
Mm-hmm.
like, and like when it's like 수능, they're getting nervous about like
Mm-hmm.
when they don't get a good grade or something, like they're going to have some lot of 부담감,
Mm-hmm. Right.
like
Too much
because of
burden on them.
or like they have to 재수, so
Mm-hmm.
that means yeah, kind of like
Right.
their Korea is like kind of like thinking of studying too much, like yeah, they always think like studying is the only way to live your life or something. So
Right.
like it's
Right.
kind of an issue.
Right. I mean, do you think, I mean, for me personally, I don't think we need swimming, to be honest, to go to college. I mean, we do like for American school they do SAT, right? Like English and math. But I feel like for swimming, they're just getting too much pressure on it, right? Because if you get good swimming grade, then you're gonna go to a good college. But for us, how about you? Like for us as MKs, we never went to like Hagwon, right? Or we didn't take swimming, but we were fine. We're living fine.
But
We're going on a
for me,
pace.
like I don't know it's fine or not because like I'm only seventh grade, so
True, true. I mean, that's true. But like, if you look at people from RVA, they graduated from school and they went to like Harvard, Oxford, Princeton. Like, even though they didn't go to a lot of academies, they still go to good schools, right? So to change that, what do you think might be the key to change in Korean, like how to say, culture of education? Because usually, if you watch like dramas, if you watch like movies, Korean moms, they're so like they're so eager and they're so like committed to making their son or daughter the best, you know? So
yeah,
what can kind of change that in a way?
in a good way.
Hmm.
Uh,
Like, yeah.
like, is there actually a way to change that? Because like the way to change that is like we have to keep the Korean parents have to tell their kids always like studying's not the only way to live and
Mm,
or so like they have to rest their brains or like
mm-hmm,
I don't know, like because like Korea thinks so much about studying, like because
mm-hmm,
they every Korean parents wants their kid to want to go to good college or
mm-hmm,
like have a good job.
right.
So like that 뭐 so like 한국 사람이 그런 게 심하잖아요.
Mm-hmm,
너무 너무 아이들한테 부담감을 너무 많이 주고 하니까.
right, right.
근데 to like fix those and like the way how to stop them or something is like to like make them we have to tell them like studying is not the only way to live to their
Mm-hmm,
parents. So like but I'm not really sure if it changes things.
mm-hmm, right, right. I mean, it's kind of hard because it's just Korean culture, I think, to be honest, right? Because there's not really a lot of things that we can change from this because I don't know, like it's hard to change. But we can tell them that like especially like when I was working in an academy, um, usually they will have at least English, Korean, math, science, swimming, taekwondo, and donju. So those are seven academies. That's keyboard for them. If it's a stream, they will have like at least like 15 academies to go to. I was like, how do you guys live your life? Like, do you guys not even have time to play? And they're like, yeah, like after school, we come back, we go to academy, like three academies, come back, it'll be around like 11 p.m. We have to do our homework, so they sleep at 1 a.m. I'm like, I don't even sleep at 1 a.m. Like for me, I'm an adult. I don't sleep at 1 a.m. And they have to wake up at 6. I'm like, that's that's insane because I would be so stressed out if I lived like that. So I'm kind of glad that I wasn't like raised in Korea. But if you think about it, also, from what I've seen too, even though Koreans are so good at English grammar and spelling and all this like grammatical things, they're kind of lacking in speaking and listening because they never used it before for speaking, right? But they're so good at grammar. I'm like, you're so smart. So I think that's one of the things in Korea, you know, that they have to do. But I think it's gonna take a long time to actually change this because there's so many people who want their child to be the best, but at the same time, they're also humans, right? They can't really do everything that they want to do. But yeah, it's a big issue in Korea right now. In the States, I'm not sure if it's a big issue because some people they have a gap year, some people have rest time, they don't have to go to school. But in Korea, if you miss one school, they're like, oh, you're gonna ruin your meeting, you're gonna ruin your future, you're gonna so I think that's like a big issue, I think. Okay. So the next question is, what is inequality? What do you think inequality means? Like inequality. Oh, sure.
So what do I think what's inequality?
Inequality. Mm-hmm. What is an inequality? Oops, sorry. Oh, they don't have a drawing thing. Interesting. Okay. Okay, never mind. So inequality. What do you think an inequality is?
Everything
Everything? Okay, okay. Why?
like you're talking about Korean, right? So Korea. So
Korean, anywhere.
so for Korea, it's like they always have like something not there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For
Okay.
example, like let's say like someone is selling something
Mm-hmm.
and like in this place, this market, it sells for
Mm-hmm.
like only 5,000, like 5,000원,
Mm-hmm.
but like in other store or somewhere, they sell on like 3,500원. So like people,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Okay.
not
Yep. Um, maybe if you think of inequality, it can also mean like gender inequality also, if you put it that way, like man and woman. They're not like even though they have rights now for women, there's still different opinions about it, right? Like for example, um, if they think about 소방관, there are there are less women than men, right? So for other people, I mean, I don't think so, but some people might think that's inequality because they're like, women can also be a 소방관, right? I mean, there are a lot of 소방관 who's a woman, but they're like, oh, why do they not accept women more than men? So that can be and also inequality, you know?
yeah.
So what kind of other examples do you have as inequality? Like
So
anything.
I don't really know this actually like still talks about this in Korea right now, but like when it was like really long ago, like they always wanted to have a boy, and they
Mm-hmm.
like boys are more useful because
Mm-hmm.
their last name will be
Mm.
like spread out something. So like
Right, right.
it
Yes, yes, right.
won't count. So like
Mm-hmm.
something. But I don't know
Right.
if that actually works right now. So
Mm. I mean, if you see like older people, like older generations, they usually say they want boys more than girls. But right now, for like MZ or Gen Z, I don't think. I mean, okay, I don't
it's
know.
not like they
People,
want more girl because like it's easy
yeah,
to take care. So like more girls. So
mm-hmm. I mean, that's true because like for guys, I mean, I've seen some of my like sisters, friends, babies, and if they're boys, they're so active. Like they have to be like running around. But for girls, they just play Barbie. And they're like, oh, like Pikachu or like Pinny Pin, like Hachupin. These days, they like Hachupin. So, um, so if you just give them that, then they're like, oh, just staying alone. But for guys, they're gonna be like everywhere. They're gonna be on top of the shelf, on top of the, I don't know, chair, dancing. The girls will be like, oh, hello, Hachupin. My name is Pinny Pin. They'll be just, playing like this. So I guess that's easier. I mean, that's what I did also when I was younger. So, um, yeah. So inequality in how about Malawi? I mean, I've seen a lot of inequality of women and men in Uganda because they think they always have girls or women to cook or just do everything in the house, and they're not allowed to get educated. They have to cook only. So do you have those similar
Like
things?
when I was
Uh-huh.
sixth grade, we talked about this in Spanish class. Like in my Spanish teacher in sixth grade, she was like, the women have to cook always and stay in the kitchen and or take care of the
Mm,
kids or the babies
mm-hmm,
and like stay home and like cook, clean, and do like home things. And men have to go out and work. So like
mm,
and like we've like she said like when her husband friends came over to her house, she said like her husband made all the foods and cooked and like did. But when her
mm-hmm,
husband friends came over, I came to her house, like they were like, "Oh, thank you to my teacher, not to the
mm,
husband." Like they think like, and
mm,
my teacher said, "Oh, my husband made this." She said that, but
mm-hmm,
husband friends would keep on saying like, "Oh, but still, thank you." Like they keep on saying that to
mm,
my teacher. So like she was
uh-huh,
thinking like, "Oh, they think women have to cook
mm,
and yeah, so they
right.
think that so 당연하게. So like
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, those things happen actually, especially in Korea these days. I think from what I've seen, they're more sensitive in a way for like, especially for men and women. If there is inequality in, school or work, company, just family itself, they will get so sensitive about it. So, for example, if they say, "Oh, women can't cut their hair short because then they're gonna be like man," So there was this one thing that happened in like on the internet, and there were so many people who were like saying some bad things about it because they were like why are you saying this because like it's not supposed to be like this, are you trying to be discriminating against like women, or this is inequality, and like they were talking about those things, so they were really sensitive now. But before, women didn't get any right to talk, right? Like they didn't get to get educated, so they didn't know how to read, or they didn't know how to like express their opinions. So that's still going on in Uganda in a way. Like it's still a bit developing in a way, but if you go to the rural area, if the capital is okay, but if you go to like really when you go into the bushes, then the women are usually not treated well. So I guess that gender inequality comes it's still going on in 21st century. But I think it's gonna get better because also in Korea, there are a lot of people who are still like jogging. They're kind of secure. They're a bit too narrow-minded, but I think it's gonna change soon because a lot of Gen Zs, they are, yeah, they're changing. So it's really interesting. Okay, so we are going to look at bias and non-bias. Okay, so bias and inequality. For example, if the news headline says the average salary for women is lower than for men, and the second one is poor students often get worse education. Those are the two news headlines, let's say, okay? Then the question is going to be, why do you think this inequality exists? And what might be the reason people don't see this as a problem? And how could we prove or disprove this claim? So let's talk about the first one. The average salary for women is lower than for men. Why do you think this exists? I mean, let's say it was, so the average salary for men is higher than the woman. And why do you think this inequality is still going on?
So,
Like 월급? 이제 남자분들이 받는 월급이 여자분들보다 더 높다라는 게 이게 뉴스의 헤드라인이면 뭐라고 생각할까요?
that makes sense.
It doesn't
That
make sense.
Like they work
It doesn't.
together, like they're in the same like 등급 something. Like
Right.
weird to have like men's having more money and women's are having less than man. That doesn't make sense. Like, why do they have to do that? They choose to use that person to like work with them, but why are they like hired? So it makes sense.
True, because this happened before, actually. No, I don't think it was recent. I don't think it's gonna be recent because there's gonna be so many people who are going to be disagreeing on it. But before this happened, because even though women and men they were working at the same factory, the men will get more money. They will get more salary, higher price. So women were like, we're working the same hour, same job, same time. Why are we getting less than the men? And apparently the factory owner was like, because you're a woman and he's a man. So this kind of inequality did happen before. I don't think it's happening now because it's gonna be a lot of issue. But this was happening before. So this was kind of biased toward men, right? You're like going upside down. And it's kind of interesting because I mean, this is not happening in 21st century, I think. But what if it did? Then that might be a big issue, right? And what's your thought about poor students often get worse education? What do you think about this?
But they're poor what? Poor?
So poor students often get worse education.
That also doesn't make sense. Like they learn same time with like rich or like 좀 잘 사는 애들이랑 같이 공부하고 해도 like they learn the same thing basically. But like 학원, if they're a bit poor, they won't have much money to go to 학원 to learn more. So because of that, and yeah. If they're like normal or like kind of rich students, they will of course go to 학원 like really much like a lot, and they will get quiet or like that. So, but if they're poor, it's going to be hard to do that. So that might be
right. I mean, but let's say that your parents couldn't get enough money for you to do, let's say, 수능. So if you're gonna do 수능 or TOEFL, do you know TOEFL?
no.
It's like a English passing. You have to get that to pass English and go to college. It's similar with SAT, but it's a less version for Koreans. So TOEFL is for Koreans, I think, or foreigners. And let's say your parents didn't have enough money to afford you to go to TOEFL, TOEFL Howard, right? Academy. Then because you're poor, okay? And other students will be rich and they're like going to a lot of academies. they're getting so much help. They get 1대1 과외. They're also doing do you know that 인강, like internet 강의? Those like really famous people. So if that happened to you, then what do you think you will like? What do you think you would feel and think? And what will be your opinion about being poor?
Like 억울하다 because um being poor is not um my opportunity or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't even like get money for something. I couldn't even get a job or something. So like, and I can't learn more because I'm poor. So like, because of
Mm-hmm.
that, why do I have to get like a less grade or something? Because like, even though the students are rich or like they could also not study well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of not fair. Like, let's say there's a rich student and that guy gets like quiet and got a lot of hagwon
Mm.
and like studies more after school. But when they don't concentrate or something, even though they like study their parents trying to make them study hard, but study if they don't study hard, then they're going to have less grade. So like it's
Mm.
not really going to get different because like
Mm.
getting a the way to get a good grade or something, you have to work hard, study hard. So
Right.
that goes to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, right. That's a really great opinion. Um, it's it's hard because it's not always that poor students don't get good education. If they are able to get education at school, then it's gonna be the same for other people. But at the same time, they might kind of feel a bit, sidetracked because other students are always going to academies, they're getting extra help, and they're always like working hard. But if you're like not, if you can't afford it, then you can't really know all the tips of TOEFL. You know, the reason why you go to academy for TOEFL is to get like to practice for the real tests, right? But if you don't even get that, then that's gonna be a big pressure on that student who's poor because they can't really complain to their parents because it's we can't really do anything about that, right? So that I think that was one of the reasons. I also asked in NK too, like we can't go to academy in Korea because we're too far away, you know. Then maybe people who are actually taking TOEFL might be better than us, but usually, as NKs, I think we get better grades than them because we're more used to English sometimes, even though we don't go to academy. So that's also like a different point of view in a way, you know? But yeah. Oh, sorry, my nose are like blocking. Okay, so what we were going to do actually was we were actually going to do a debate, but we don't have anybody except for you and I. So, well, I don't know why they're not coming in. Ha ha ha. I thought Yejun and Rachel was gonna come, but I don't. Okay. So we'll look at the debate topics and we'll discuss. Okay. So there are several questions that I want to ask. And the first one is it fair to have different pay for men and women in the job? So that's the one we kind of discussed, but it's for debate. The second one, should education be free for everyone regardless of income? So education as in academy, extra help, kumon, and everything. Third, should there be stricter gun control laws to reduce violence, or does it infringe upon personal freedoms? That's the third one. Fourth one, should governments regulate social media platforms to prevent the spread of misinformation and hate speech? And the last one is racial profiling by police justified in the interest of public safety. So those are the questions that we might discuss, but we're only going to choose like one or two topics, and we're going to try debating about it. Um, but you can choose. You can choose the two topics that you want to talk about. We can just talk about it. We don't have to do debates, but I just want to know your opinion about it. So, what two topics do you want to discuss about? You can choose the first one, and then we can do the next one later. What do you want? Anything? Okay. Then let's try gun control because this is a really interesting topic. So should there be stricter gun control laws to reduce violence, or does it infringe? So it means like, does it kind of disturb the personal freedom? So let's talk about this. Let's try to keep the view in the States, not Korea, because Korea we have guns, you know, as an individual. But in the States, there are a lot of people with guns because they have freedom, right? So should the government be strict with the gun control, or should they be allowed to just have it because it's personal freedom? So one incident that happened before was that it was kind of sad. One woman was with her baby, and I think she was like 3 years old, 3 years old baby, and the mom had the gun on the on top of the chair, the car. So the mom was in the front, and the boy was right next to her, and he was just sitting down. And apparently, the gun was loaded, and the baby boy, he shot his mom, and the mom passed away. Yeah, so it was really, it was a really
Wait,
sad story.
that's true? So like that happened before?
Yes, this happened like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know when happened,
Where?
but when I saw the news, in the States, in the
Oh.
States, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So I saw this story, and I was like, what? Like, what? Because there's so many like incidents that happen because of the gun, because they're allowed to have guns, but uh, okay, but I want to just know your opinion. So sometimes it might be good because they can protect themselves with the gun, but sometimes they can misuse it. So what's your opinion for that?
and so in every country,
Mm-mm. Mm,
just in
let's
Korea?
try this in the States.
Oh. So like for now in states, they could just buy guns
Mm,
and like they can use it if they don't kill someone or actually shoot
right?
someone. It
Mm-hmm.
actually happen, but I don't really think that's good because like in states like 총기 사건이 많이 일어나고 and like getting guns are easy. It's kind of easy to them, so like it's going to be that like that would happen a lot, like killing someone or shooting someone with their gun. That will happen a
Mm-hmm.
lot, and that's not really gonna be good. And if no one has a gun, then it's going to be more better because like it won't
Mm-hmm.
have the 총기 사건 will not
Mm-hmm.
happen anymore.
Right.
And it's it's going to be a little more safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Um, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I didn't live in the States, so I don't know how it's going, but if if everything was the same right now in the States, then I would want a gun just in case, because or not a gun, or maybe just something that's I don't know, a spray, like the eye spray or something that can protect me from the gun. But the gun is scarier than the knife because you can shoot, in like long distance. So to protect myself, maybe having a gun is okay, but shooting them, I think there should be a stricter rule in that. But it's gonna be difficult because not everybody's gonna do it, because like they have different type of guns and they have like the big guns or they have like the small control. They have like a different type of guns, right? But for safety, sure, you can have it. But at the same time, if you're shooting it like a baby who shoots his mother, that was a tragic story because just because they had a gun loaded, he didn't even know that he killed his mother, right? So to prevent these things happening, then maybe restricting them to not have any guns might be good because like in Korea, we don't have guns then and we don't really have a lot of like incidents, but they like stab each other, I think. But yeah, those are the things that happen, I think. It's really hard to kind of decide what's going on. And also for like criminal things in Korea too, because they don't have guns, they use knife. And
Yeah.
one use.
So like in
It's
Korea,
crazy.
they don't use gun, they use knife more.
Mm,
So like it's
yeah.
not like
Uh, I mean, they're both bad. They're really bad. But like one use that I've seen. Do you remember those like that accident that happened like 2022 or three? Like 칼부림 사건 or something. Like there were a lot of people who got so like 뭐지? 이제 칼로 사람 계속 이 모르는 사람을 다 찌르고 다녔어요. 몰라도 just because he was mad.
real one.
I think the 실린 칼부림 사건. Like
I don't think I
it,
heard that.
it was in Seoul. 서울에서 있었고 대전, 대구 뭐 어디선가 있었는데 like they would randomly stab people. 그냥 모르는 사람한테 그냥 이렇게 칼로 찔러서 다 죽였어요. 음, 근데
That's
그거를
stupid.
따라하고 싶은 사람이 많아서 이제 그런 게 좀 많이 나왔어요. 딱 한 번, 그 2023년에 한 텀에 이제 갑자기 막 칼 휘두른다고 이렇게 막 SNS에 올리고 뭐 인스타에 올리든지 이렇게 했어가지고 그때 다들 막 무서워하고 올렸었거든요. So like it was kind of interesting because why would they think about that? Like just hurting somebody that you don't even know. And even though you know somebody, you shouldn't do that. And especially 층간소음, that's a really big issue in Korea too, in apartments. So somebody got really mad, so they brought 그 일본 사무라이가 쓰는 그 칼 있죠? 네, 그 긴 칼. 근데 그게 되게 날카롭고 되게 무서운 건데, 이제 그걸로 위층에 있는 분들을 이제 살해를 했어요. Then
How did they even get that? Oh my God.
it's insane. And but the thing is, there were so many people who said they kind of understand, and those who don't understand. Because those who said they understand is 층간소음을 겪어본 사람들은 그 기분을 알 거래요. I mean, I never experienced it before because I was in Africa, but 층간소음이 엄청 심하면 진짜 스트레스가 올 정도로 스트레스래. 어떤 뭐 병 or something like really big stress 올 정도로 심하대요. So that's why he went up to kill that person. But the other side are like, why would you kill somebody just because of that? You could have just 신고 and that would have been good. So I'm on the second side because like why would he have to kill somebody because of that? Because killing somebody's life is a really big deal.
Like for me, it's like the person who actually killed someone is also a bad person, but the people that understand that person is more weird. Like
That's what I'm saying.
even though they're like getting really stressed about that, killing is like 죄. It's a sin. So like
That's the thing.
That's a big problem. Don't
It's
get
like
that.
they can't killing somebody cannot be justified. Like nobody can be like it's not okay to kill anybody, you know? Because you're basically taking their lives with your own hands. And that's not it's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. But if you see some because I was kind of interested in criminals, like criminal law and criminal like psychology. I was looking at this one drama called 악의 마음에 있는 자들. So he was my favorite actor, so he was there. And they were talking about how 범죄자들의 마음이 진짜 like as a normal person, you cannot think about it. 이제 일반 사람이면 진짜 이게 왜 뭔가 살인하는 거를 즐기는 사람들이니까 조금 생각하는 게 많이 달라요. So those issues also cause the government or the national, just the nation itself to kind of corrupt, right? Because there's so many people who are really interesting. They're so weird. They don't think straight. So, yeah, there's so many issues around this world, even in Korea, even though they're like less 범죄 than I think the states. But if you see like 일진들, 왕따 당하고도 그렇고, there are a lot of like bullying stories, right? And especially for like celebrities who also like did that, like 합법한 그 연예인도 되게 많고. So like if you see those things, it's yeah, Korea is yeah, they have a lot of issues.
Like Korea, things like 등급을 너무 중요시.
Mm. Hmm.
Like people always have
Right.
to have that. And Korean people like 누가 나보다 낫고 뭔가 나보다 등급이나 그런 게 낮고 막 그러면은 오히려 기분이 좋아지고 막 자기가 잘난
Mm.
그런 느낌을 많이 느끼고 그러니까
Yeah,
there's a lot
that's
of that, I think.
but there are a lot of good parts in Korea too. There are a lot of good parts, but at the same time, there's some parts that we can develop or to kind of change in this, to live our lives. And after a break time, we're going to talk about more about like Korean education system as in the student life, because there are a lot of incidents that happened before too. So we're going to touch on that, and later we're going to do some other discussions and we'll be done with that. Okay. So for now, we'll have a break time and I'll see because Yegan says she has cold. 감기가 좀 날거든요. 근데 은서랑 like 레이처럼 모르겠네요. 일단은 we'll see. Okay. I'll see you later. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, why is it not working? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
What was going on?
Yeah, I was like, why is it not working? I think something was wrong with my AirPods. I think maybe. Sorry, I like turned off the Bluetooth like so many times and it didn't work. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss about the Chupap problem, the issues, the social issue in Korea. And I mean, we kind of discussed this before also a bit, but we didn't discuss like fully. So what we are going to talk about right now is um, the level of punishment on teenagers in Korea. So what's I mean, to tell you some of the problems and to tell you some of the situations that's happening in Korea right now. One of the situation is bullying. So bullying is a really big thing in Korea, and yeah, I mean this happens since before. It happens all around the world, I think. But in Korea, it seems a bit um, toxic. The second part is if you do you know about 기간제? Like
No.
it's like a 선생님, but they're only there for like they don't know when they're gonna get like fired. It's like an 알바 선생님, I think.
Oh.
So you don't know when you're gonna get fired. You have to try your best to do it. It's like kind of like substitute teacher in a way. So sometimes there was this one incident that happened in 2022 or 2021, but um this teacher was teaching and um the students thought that she might get fired, so they were kind of like looking down on her. So they were a bit too rude to her, and they will make her kind of like kneel down at them, 무릎 꿇고 어 아니면 돈을 뜯어가던가 이렇게 많이 했대요. 그렇게 이제 그냥 거의
The teacher?
같은 학생인 것처럼 to a teacher, yes. And they would always 협박. They would like kind of threaten her that she's gonna get fired if they do anything, if she does anything to them, or like calls the police or talks to another teacher. And she had to buy them like 빵 and like uyu for them with her own money. So they were literally just bullying her. But she was a teacher. Even though she was a 기간제, she was still a teacher, right? So, but even though that happened, because he was young, he was 16 or 18, so he was younger, so he didn't get a lot of punishment. He just did 청각? 청각을 당하고 이제 그게 끝났어요. So, in this situation, what might be the issue? What might be the problem for this?
So, like making teacher like embarrassing to students are a problem, and like they're being so rude, and they know that they're not going to get that much punishment because like they're still young and they're still like they could just say I was just joking or I was just playing, so like they could just say that. But like um so because of that, the country, so like country, the Korea is like trying to protect, like 살짝 그 학생들을 그렇게 막 많이 벌하지 않고 막 그러려고 하고.
Mm-hmm.
Like teachers, school teachers are trying to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and because I watched this from YouTube or something,
Right,
and
right.
I'm not really sure if that actually happens, but I heard that happens, and the students have to know what they're doing wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't really care what they're doing wrong, and they're just like, I won't get a big punishment because like I'm only 17, I'm only like 16 or something. They could just
Mm-hmm.
say that.
Right.
So 뭔가 심각하게 생각을 하고 있지 않는 거.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's because they know that they're gonna escape this punishment. They're using that. They're using the law in a counter way. So usually you're supposed to keep the law, right? So if you're younger, then you don't really get that much punishment. But they're using that law to do something against adults, right? Um, like also for other like other criminals and crimes, based on the news and based on some research that I've done, compared to the states, United States, or other countries, even like Japan and other places, Korean law seems to be a bit too light in a way. So if somebody committed like murder, or if somebody harassed a kid or a child, um, then they're supposed to be in jail forever. But people like, 조두순, he is out right now, right? He's outside of the jail. He's living like other people, just normal people. He lives in an apartment, and that's okay for him. But for people who actually got harassed by him, then they're gonna live in fear because of the trauma, right? So was it a good idea for him to be outside of jail, or should he have been in jail, or no? Because like in the States, um, one case he harassed a girl who was 6 years old, and he got the judgment of being in jail for I forgot how long, 136 years. 136년 동안 이제 감옥에서 복역을 해야 된다라고 받았어요. 그거를. 이제 그 정도면, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But in Korea, Jules is out, even though he did such horrible thing to a girl, and I'm pretty sure she still has trauma. But this is the thing, like I think to avoid other people committing such like terrible crimes, they should kind of make it a bit strict. They should make the law a bit strict, or making it um, a bit harsh so that other people might not even think about doing it, right? But what's your opinion about that? Do you think it should be the same right now in Korea, or do you think there should be some changes in it? What's your opinion for that, including the 초밥소년 too?
I actually like watched the movie about kind of like that. So like 범죄자들이 범죄를 짓고 like the person who actually did like a really bad thing, they get like 풀려나도 발찌 경찰 그런 추적할 수 있는 발찌
Right.
그런 영화를 봤는데 so from there like they were talking like how the people who came out of the jail was living like they're actually if they're actually like 반성을 하고 있는지 so like so there's a person who actually murdered someone and get like only 30 or like 20 years of living in jail and after 20 years when he came out then like the family that 그러니까 피해자 가족들이 억울해 하잖아요 because like
Right.
that person killed my sister my daughter
Right.
and now that person is just jail and living like different not like that person is like living like a normal people now so what I think is like Korea can just give that the people who actually did a bad thing to someone have to get 그냥 죗값만 치르고 나온다. But we have to make that person to 그 해외 출입 금지 그런 걸 하든가 아니면 그 이 구역에서 벗어날 수 없고 like that person can go to that the 그러니까 또 자기가 뭔가 그 괴롭혔던 그 사람한테 또 찾아갈 수도 있으니까 그 구역으로는 절대 못 가게 하고 그러는 거.
Right. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. But even there was this one issue that was happening that people who are in jail, they get better food than people who are just, living ordinary. There's this famous 트로트 가수, 김호중. Do you know this guy? 김호중. He's a really famous 트로트 가수. He was 나는 트로트다. True to something. So like 임영웅. Yeah. So he was in the same contest with 임영웅, and Kim Ho-jung, he got a lot of like fans, and he had a lot of like money and stuff. But I forgot what he did, but he was in jail, and they showed the 식단 for the whole week for the jail people who are in jail, and like what they eat is like 고기 반찬. Like for 설날, they will get like 떡국 plus like 갈비찜 and like 전 and stuff. So
like Korean jail problem is they're giving so good food to the people. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
not fair. It's like maybe that people are living more better life than
Yeah,
yeah.
right, right. I mean, even like they're eating better than
So
most of the people
I
because
heard this. I watched this something. I don't know where, but I saw someone that killed someone and wanted to go to jail because like he didn't have
oh,
anything. So like
mm-hmm.
그냥 노숙자가 노숙자가 아무것도 없고 그러니까 누구 이렇게 죽여가지고 감옥에 가가지고 잘 그냥 밥을 해주고 막 그러니까 오히려 더 좋을 것 같으니까 감옥 가려고
Mm.
일부러 사람 죽이고 그런
My gosh.
사건이 있었다 들었어요.
Yeah, I mean, I did see this too, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're humans too. They should get, but this is the thing. As a Christian, we should be forgiving. We should understand people, but at the same time, what they did was not okay, right? Um, and for me personally, I don't want them to be treated like other people because even though there might be some people who would repent and they will, try to be better, but there might be a lot of people who still don't think that way. And even right now in Korea, there are a lot of people who cannot eat well, especially like people from like 도숙자분들 or like 대학생들 or like even adults. They don't really get enough food, but like in jail, you don't even get paid. You don't pay for staying in jail, but they get better food than most of the people. So that was a big issue. Like no, this year, May, I think. And then I was looking at it, I was like, they eat better than me. Because like what I eat will be like different. But like they would always eat like japchae or like 심지어 반찬도 여러 가지예요. It's not only one. It's like four. So those are there's so many things that's happening in this world. And it's kind of interesting to see because it's all different. Okay. So the last thing I'm gonna do today is we were actually going to do some discussion. Well, we've been doing discussions a lot, but the thing that I want to kind of talk about is um like rights. So this is also in Korea, but if you're supposed to kind of respect other people's rights, then you're not supposed to harm them, right? So one thing that I've heard, I mean, it was because of that stabbing thing that happened in Korea last year. 2023년에 그 이제 칼군 사건 그것 때문에 이제 everybody was like so scared and everything, right? And I was looking at some news and stuff because that time I was so interested in like criminal law and everything. So I was looking into it, and apparently, if there's somebody who has a knife and they wanted to like stab you, and like let's say I am taekwondo like python, and I'm really good at like fighting and stuff, so I like kick him, and I take his like I put his knife far away so that he can grab it, and I like hit him once again, and then he's like, he fainted, right? Apparently, we're not supposed to do that. Then we are the ones who are kaisa, and he is a kiesa, even though he tried to kill me. Because if they don't have booty on their hands, then it's not um 쌈방 I forgot the name. 그 같이 I forgot the name, but you're supposed to do the same, like two people do the same thing. 그러니까 이게 이 사람이 잘못했는데 나도 똑같이 해줬으니까 이게 쌍방 저거랑 이게 어떤 말이 있거든요. 일단은 so police even though they have the taser gun, 테이저건을 함부로 쓰면 안 돼요. 왜냐면 그 사람을 그 사람한테 쏘면 이제 자기 자신이 문제가 되기 때문에 그래서 함부로 쏘면 안 된대요. So that's the 의문. If the police are there to protect us, but they're not
Oh
supposed to
yeah,
shoot it, then
exactly.
like, what are we supposed to do?
고구마 만개 먹은 느낌. So, oh,
So what's your? I mean, I've seen a lot of like FBI stories, CIA stories, and real life stories for police and stuff. And if I see those things, In the States, they allow police to shoot guns. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's good to shoot guns because that might kind of cause trouble, yes, but they are allowed to like 조금 이렇게 펀치를 날리거나 or use taser guns, that's fine. But in Korea, if police uses taser gun, they might have to give up on their police life.
They're just
경찰국을
having their
벗어야 될
gun
수도
to like
있어요.
scare them. Like, 너 꼼짝 마라,
Yeah,
꼼짝 마라, 움직이지 마 이래놓고 안 쏴. 움직임 쏜다 해놓고 안 쏴.
that's the
어,
thing. I'm like, this is so like I don't know why. I don't really know a lot about laws, but I've heard from my friend who's studying law. He also said if police uses a taser gun against the person who has a knife, they're gonna be the kaiser. So that time this actually happened before. So one police shot a person who had a knife, and he had to pay 벌금 1억 정도를 내야 됐어요. 그 경찰도 잘리고. 왜냐면 자기가 가야 되기 때문에. 티저건을 다른 사람들을 위해서 티저건을 썼는데 그게 이제 거기 재판에서 안 된 거예요. So after reading this, I was like, don't they understand the fact that he was trying to protect other people from the person who was holding a knife? But just because it wasn't even a gun, it was just taser gun. And because he did that, he had to pay and he had to give up on his police life, and that was the end. But the other person, the one who was acting as if he was a 피해자, the one with the knife, he was okay. 그 사람은 거의 뭐 벌금을 물지도 않았고. So I'm like, what is this law? What's the justification? 이럴 때는 뭐가 괜찮을 것 같아요? For your opinion.
like I also watched this kind of like this movie with my dad and my brother. So like we're watching a movie that like there was a person who came out of jail and went to someone's house and trying to like kill them with a knife. But they called the police and the someone called the police and they saw that person and they're like just holding the gun like and don't move or else I'll shoot you and they're just moving and they're not shooting and they're just staying still and doing this like and why are they doing this actually and even like in states if they saw someone that's like being not good to the police, they actually just shoot with the state police actually just shoot the gun. But Korean police are they're just like trying to having the gun with just like scaring them, and they're not even getting scared of that because they know that they're not going to shoot them. So
Right.
like they just run away or something. So like if something dangerous happened and the police sees the people who looks like not really safe and being kind of um being scary to other people, like they're scaring someone, and Korean police also have to like not just for scaring, they have to like actually shoot the gun because like that's not like a gun who's going to like go through. It's like 전기 충격기, something like that. So we do have to do something like that. So or else something more dangerous will happen. So that have to happen.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the police and I didn't study police things, so I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. But it's just for me kind of sad in reality because police are there to, support and help. But if they actually hurt someone, then they're the ones who are gonna get in trouble. So I think that's kind of like a sad reality, I guess, right now. I wish Koreans kind of, Korean government kind of understands and kind of accepts other countries' level of punishment. I mean, I know they're trying to protect everybody's rights and individualism. Yes, that's okay. But they also have to understand the fact that other people around them might be hurt or it can cause them to fear, you know, and police are there to, protect us. So it's it's kind of hard, I guess. There's so many issues around in this world, it's not in Korea only, but everywhere in the world, right? So it's kind of interesting. So um now, I mean, there are so many things that we're supposed to do, but because other students are not here, we're not going to be able to do it because it's supposed to be like a group activity. But we can try doing the persuading. So I was actually going to have you, so you're assigned roles of advocates for different social causes related to inequality. So you are going to be the advocate of different social causes. And for this one, we're going to do inequality. Okay. So you're the advocate of inequality issues. And the issue here, I might change this a bit because we kind of talked about this before. Um, Inequality as in people in Malawi. You're supposed to advocate the women's side of Malawi, and it's about working and getting educated. So you're gonna be supporting their side. I will try to listen and I will try to support the men's side of Malawi. I don't really know a lot of Malawi, but I think it's gonna be kind of similar with Ugandan because the cultures are not like too different. So we can try kind of focusing on that right now. So you're supposed to persuade me to believe that there is an inequality between women and men in the work and education of Malawi. Okay, so I'm gonna give you like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to kind of write down what you want to say. I will try to look at some researches about Malawi because I don't really know a lot about Malawi like culture. So let's try, and we'll try to persuade each other. But it's not gonna be long. So okay, so let's try doing that really fast, and we're gonna come back at 40 or 45, and we'll talk about it briefly, and we'll be done. Okay. Okay. So inequality of men and women in Malawi.
Oh wait, inequality with man and woman and what? Just
In
that?
Malawi.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, there's
inequality
nothing.
inequality of education and work.
I
Are
think
you ready?
yeah, but I'm not really sure because yeah, I'm just saying the ones that I saw, which ones looks like inequality. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem.
yeah.
I think, do you want to go first or should I go first? Because I'm doing
Oh,
for men, you're
you can
doing
go.
for women. Okay. I mean, I didn't really do a lot of research, but I'll try my best to actually talk about it. Okay, so in Malawi, some people believe that men have more advantage in education and work, but that's not necessarily true because both men and women have important roles in society. And the first one will be traditional roles. So usually men often take the role of providing for their families, meaning that they need jobs to earn money and support their loved ones. Because of this, it's important that men have access to education and jobs so they can fulfill these family responsibilities. So this is not about a fair advantage, it's about making sure men can support their families in a traditional way that benefits everyone. The second one will be limited resources. So Malawi, apparently, they don't really have a lot of schools, teachers, or job opportunities for everyone. So if we split these limited resources equally between men and women, it could mean that no one gets enough. And focusing on men's education and work can help ensure that families are financially stable. But this doesn't mean that women doesn't deserve opportunities, but just explains why men might have more access in certain areas. And um, The third one will be gradual change for fairness. So even though I am talking for the men's side, society can't be changed overnight, as you know. So allowing men to keep their access to education and work right now, while slowly increasing opportunities for women, is a way to keep stability. So we can move forward and we can move towards fairness, but not causing problems by changing things too fast. So, for example, right now for guys, they have works in let's say company, but because Malawi is still also like Uganda, we're still in the stage of facing inequalities, right? So if we kind of change this really fast, like let's say the president is like, okay, so women is gonna get all the jobs, then something might be something might happen. Some mistakes might happen, some issues might happen between that. So maybe slowly changing this might be better. But yeah, that's my conclusion. Yep.
Okay, so I do think like sort of the things that you were saying is right. And what I'm going to say is like um first of all, the equality between the woman and man in Malawi is that usually women work at home. We look at them eat, and it looks like a well, go to get water, do these things. Men and husbands go out in the night, ride bicycles,
Mm-hmm.
ride trees back, and do things like that. And when I saw a husband and wife walked, the wife put the child on her back and put heavy luggage on her head. But I saw that the husband was just walking comfortable next to her. Looking
Right.
at that, Malawi always seems that women do more hard work and
Mm-hmm.
men just think of women more easily.
Okay.
And to be honest, men don't seem to be responsible for their families. They just always seem to have no choice but to work. So like, yeah, that was
Mm-hmm.
I. That was
Right,
I.
right. Good, good. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you would know more because you lived in Malawi, and I think some of the research that I've done is a bit off topic, maybe off, maybe outdated also. But these issues are really interesting if you see it, right? I mean, right now I don't really have any opinions about this, but a lot of people talk about inequalities also in Korea, that like men have more opportunities to become chefs, or they're more professors who are male, but for women wise, they're more counselors who are women, they're more nurses who are women, but they're more doctors as for men. But the reason why this happens is sometimes it depends on gender. So, um, guys, they're more stronger, right? They have like more like muscles. I think they gain more muscles than us, and they're more 체력으로는 이제 조금 더 여자들보다 조금 더 괜찮죠? So those are the reasons why they actually have different opinions about this. But at the same time, I feel like there shouldn't be any discriminations against any genders, right? Men or women. So yeah, these issues are really big, and I actually wanted to listen to everybody's opinion, like Insel and Yejin and Rachel, but they're not here. So I mean, I get to listen to all of yours because your opinions are also really good because you always talk about your opinion really well. You can express it really well. Um, but maybe discussions wise, we can try it next time, and we can kind of do debates. But you're gonna be good at debates, so You can kind of try on that. And for the homework for today, really, I hmm, this is gonna be easy. So research one of the topics related to so this is so sad to social issues and write a short argumentative essay with your opinion and evidence. So um, you're going to research one of the topics that's related to social issues, such as like what have we talked about, maybe some choposuna or educational issues or gender issues. We don't know, and you have to write a short argumentative essay that say men's rights are higher than women. That might be your statement, and you're gonna be like because blah 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 blah, and you need some opinion and evidence. So that's gonna be it. You don't have to write long. You can just write um, a short paragraph essay, not an essay, maybe like 6 sentences, 6 to 10 sentences, and just work on that. The homework from last week will be also due next week. Okay, so you can just do both of them by next week if that's okay. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't get too much pressure. I think you already did, but yeah. Okay, so that's gonna be it. And yeah, I think that's good. Very nice job today. I think you talked a lot today, so I think your voice is gonna be kind of dead. My voice is almost dead too, so I'll stop talking. But yeah. Okay, so very nice job, and I'll see you next week. Okay.